Hello, so in this tutorial, we're going to go back from the box model, which we had here earlier. We're going to go back into this code over here. So looking back at two tutorials ago, we had a gelato.css, and we had a body tag, which took over the body tag of the web page, and we gave it a background color of pink. Let's remove this entirely. So we're going to go right back from the start with gelato.css. All right, so I'm just going to press Control S right now, and I'm going to go back to this page here and I'll refresh it. So you'll note here that on this page right now, you have multiple tags that are dividing up the page. You can see this by the gaps with everything here. We have here a margin or a padding throughout all these items. So looking back at our box model, this is all over the place at the moment, and we need to gain control of this. So let's do that right now. So whenever I start a new site, I normally do this right from the start in terms of taking control of everything. So if we press Shift and 8, we have the star, right? So it's not the X, it's star, and we have open curly brackets, and we have close curly brackets. And in there, we're going to say this. So this star means to take control of everything. So any HTML item or tag we put onto our website, this bit of code right here is going to capture everything. It's going to take control of everything. So I'm going to have here margin equal to 0, and padding is also equal to 0. Okay, this is the only time that I like to have a star on everything, right? You don't need to do this anywhere else or do anything else, all right? Everything else needs to have its own code from now on. So let's go and save this, and we'll check out on this side here. Let's refresh this. So, so we have here no spacing at all. So you can see that drastic difference there. Okay, so let's do a few other things right now, and I'm going to just now reduce this screen for the code view a little bit smaller, and also I'm going to press Control 0 on the website itself to make this confined a little bit more in terms of making this as one-to-one scale. All right, so now I'm going to go back to our file over here, and let's do a few things by adding in things such as different types of fonts and stuff like that, right? In fact, actually, before we do fonts, we will establish the width of our website. So let's go to line 6, and we're going to make a comment. So we have here a /, and then the star, which is that Shift 8, and we're going to call this one here main layout using CSS3 grids. Okay, so all grids, geez. All right, so CSS grids is a thing that allows us to make a site work visually with a good layout with very little code. Okay, so I'll show you this, right? On line 7, we're going to take over. So we have here our website here. We have our body tag. We have our div, which is ID of wrapper. Okay, so think of it as this way. If we give something an identity, an ID, it is a single person. Let's say a person in the school. You only have one person with a certain student code. If we have a whole class of students and they're all individual, right? But you might want to say, hey, you belong to one classroom. You can use a thing called a class. We'll get into classes later on though. But an identity is a single out person in the school. Okay? So let's go back to Gelato. And we're going to type in this. We're going to type in here hash, which is looking at the identity of the div called wrapper. Wrapper. Okay? You can also do this. You can actually have div and then the hashtag wrapper. like that. That will also work as well. We're going to open up our curly brackets. We're going to close the curly brackets. We're going to add a new line inside here. Okay, press Tab. And we're going to put in a minimum width and a maximum width of our website. So I'm going to put in here, just for this tutorial itself, I'm going to put in min width. So minimum width is going to be 980 pixels, semicolon. And we're also then going to put in max width, so maximum width of 1800 px. Right, so this is going to fit within a HD, like a 1080p screen, okay? We can also do a few other things too. Let's put in that same thing we did before. We're going to have here background color is pink, okay? And let's save this and see how our site looks now. Let's refresh, and we see here that we've just got the div wrapper, and it is pink. And if I just reduce this page down, so reduce this down in terms of zooming in, zooming out, we can see here that this page is adapting. Minimum size is 980 pixels. Right, so that is 980 pixels. We can see it here scrolling like that. But if we scroll, if we move this window out, make it bigger, the maximum size has been exceeded as being 1800 pixels. And this is now empty space in here. Okay. All right, let's make this site a little bit bigger. Okay, so we have that there. All right, in fact, what we'll do is we'll press Control minus again so we can see this whole site, because now we're looking at the construction of this page. All right, so let's establish grids here. All right, so we're going to need to take over certain things of our site. We need to take control of the header, the main content of our site, the main menu as well, the aside, and the footer. So we're going to do that now. So just so we don't forget, we're going to type this out. All right, so we're going to have here, first one was header. So we're going to be targeting header. And we have our space, open curly brackets, close curly brackets. Yeah. And we're going to also then have the main menu. So I'm going to type in here, menu. Later on, we'll fix this up with an identity as we progress through. But for now, it should be fine. Menu. And then we had aside. And we also had footer. All right. Oops. Press the wrong button then. This one's going to go for a little bit longer. I want to show you the grid. Okay, so in header, we want the header itself to be right across the whole page, right, the whole screen. So we're going to type in this. We're going to make this owned by the grid system. Okay, so we're going to type in here grid area, and we're going to call this one header. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it Snow White. You can call it Pinocchio. Whatever you want to call it. Okay. And let's cheat here. Let's put in a height as well of 200 pixels, just so we can see a bit more of the layout occurring. Okay. So next one here, right, is the menu, and we're simply going to give this a name, okay, called menu. So later on, we're going to take control of this a little bit more. But for now, that's fine. Let's take over aside. So that is on the right-hand side is what we'll put this at. So grid dash area is going to be called right. You can name it whatever later on. And we're going to try and identify this a little bit easier too by giving it a color as well. Okay, so background color is going to be green. Okay, cool. All right, so that was the side. Oh, we forgot to do main. So main, and we're going to call main here grid area. Whoops, grid dash area, and we're going to give it a name called main. And in that, we can give the main area a minimum height, so min height of, let's say, 800 pixels. And we're also going to give it a color too. So background color is going to be yellow. It's going to look like a bit of a dog's breakfast in terms of colors, but we'll get there. All right, so the last one is footer. So footer, we're going to give it a name, grid area name, in a matter of fact, is going to be here, footer. And we're going to give it a background dash color is going to be here purple. All right, and let's give it, I think we should be right there. All right, so let's save this and let's see this take effect here. So press refresh and we see here that nothing's laid out yet. We haven't given this any control as yet. So we have here our header here, and our menu is in here too, and that is pink at the moment because our wrapper is pink. So I'm going to give here a background color of orange. Okay, let's save this one now and let's see this separated a bit more. F5. There we go. So we have here header is 200 pixels. The orange area is the menu, which is using up the height that it needs. We have this main content area. So main is now a minimum of 800 pixels. We have a side, which is just simply taking up the height of the content. We have the footer, which is the height of the content in there. All right, so now we need to give these grid areas rules. So we're going to go down underneath footer on line 40. I'm going to type in the following. So here, I'm going to have the following things. So inside the wrapper, I'm going to have the curly brackets. All right. So inside wrapper, I'm going to have display grid. So it's making the wrapper as being the parent thing that holds the website together. Okay, display grid. And I'm going to say grid, right, dash template dash columns. So here I'm creating columns for our website, and I'm going to have the following things. So what I want to have is on the right-hand side, I want the navigation, and in the center, I want my main content. And on the right-hand side, I want my side stuff, and on the bottom, I want my footer. This is what I'm trying to code in here now. So 200 pixels, and then the main content area is going to be auto. So auto lets you have it expand, contract, and then 200 pixels for the aside. And now I need to say, what is the template areas? So grid, and again, template areas, all right? And I can go down a line now, by the way, and tab in. So I have here, first of all, I have header, header again, because it takes up 3 columns. The reason for this is because I have 1, 2, 3 columns here. So header is going right across the whole board. Then we have menu. And then we have right. Okay. And then we have here footer, footer, footer. And then we close it off. All right. Whoops. Need to have the close talking mark there. All right. Let's give this a go now. I'm going to press Control S and let's see this work. See now that we have our main header area, we have our main navigation on the left-hand side, we have our yellow area here, and we have our green area here. Okay, and at the bottom we have our footer. That is all for this one. Sorry, this went 6 minutes over as usual from the 10 minutes. We'll get into more of it later on. Thank you. Bye.